Ah, I know. All of that speaking and talking and
Into the void. Into
ah.
the void.
Thanks, Karig. Hi, everybody. My name is Alckemy. Today we're going to be reviewing Faceplant 2.0 in silence. God damn it. Okay. Sorry. Shinwara. Hello. Welcome. Hi, Colin. Hi, Ryan. Hey, Karig. Thank you so much. I was just letting you all know that Faceplant 2.0 is currently available right now if you use the installer. And then for the people that are considering getting it, we're going to be covering the features and stuff today. It's currently on sale for $99 until June 13th, and then it's going to be raising to a new price of $199 just because there's a bunch of snap-ins that they're going to be including now. Snap Heap is also going to be changing from free to $29 on June 13th, so now would be the good time to get it. Use my discount code, please. 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 Help Alckemy get some new speakers. So, it doesn't cost you anything extra. With that, hello, look, it looks almost exactly the same, but we've got a few new things. Hey, Wiggles, hey, Scorpio, most notably the modulators, and then even more so, a new layout, and then we have modulators within the multipass and snappy. Now, this is incredibly significant because previously you only had, what was it? 2 modulators, an audio follower, and then a MIDI follower, I want to say, but now we can pretty much have like up to 16 modulators on this in particular. So it's going to be awesome. Where do you guys want to start? What would you like to see first? This doesn't really change the whole entire outlook about how you go about making stuff in Faceplant. However, with some of the new modulators and stuff, most notably the Wave Table, which is super sick, you can create really interesting curves and whatnot, or you can pretty much like create a wave table, and then the new game at the top right, that's Phase Invaders, and then I think Multipass is just Snake. Yeah. So there's nothing new, unless if there's a game. Oh, there's a new game in Snap Heap, which is Asteroids. So. Yeah. Anywho, I'll kick all of your guys' butts in high score at some point, but we're not going to spend today playing games. We're going to be spending today making sounds. So there's the LFO table, which is really awesome. I haven't seen this before, but it's pretty cool. We also have the curve, which is just a really quick kind of like one-stop shop type of multi-stage envelope, which is so, whoa, when did they add that? So that's new. This is sick. I didn't know that they actually had creating lines like that. What else do we have? We have an audio follower on the outside now. So for making snares and stuff, this is excellent, which I'll show you guys here in a second. We have the new scale. We've got sample and hold. I think that was already in there though. You can modulate points in the curve too. Oh, really? So it's got the XY pad. That's awesome. Hey, NX, what's up? What else is new? We have MPE support. So now we have the timbre, and then we also have pressure. So if you guys are into MPE, there's also that. Let me see, what else is new? What else is new? And start and loop points. Is that just with the curve though? Or is that, this is just with the curve? Wait, the fuck? This is just an update, correct? Not a separate paid release. I don't want to buy the toolbox kit. Yes, it's an update for everybody that already has it. So there's nothing that you are particularly missing. Yeah, this is pretty much add and or plus and minus, I want to say. Or there was already something. The upper limit and lower limit was already there. You've also got mod remapping, which is what you do is, let's say you want to modulate something here. Well, you set it to there, and then you set another thing to mod remap here. So now whenever this moves, you can do some really cool stuff with modulation remapping, which is neat. So you can go kind of like that, and then like boom, boop, bloop, 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 And now you will see that this can either scale linearly. You can also create a curve if you want to. So you can go like this and create several different points. So it's really nice with how all that works. And I really enjoy this. This was actually something that they spent some time fixing during the beta. And I think that it came out really nice. So I have factory presets that are coming out, but I'm not sure if I can share those with you yet. Because they're not actually released. So we're going to make some stuff from scratch. I know, I'm sad. It was actually my fault in particular, just because I didn't get some of the things correct. But I do have here, I'll at least give you a teaser of what's to come. I've got 20 presets that are coming out with a new update that are going to be part of the factory presets. So here you go. Here's your list. They're going to be sick. So there's that. Let's do some sounds. So what do you guys want to see? Using your discount code only seems to apply the normal price of PP. Don't know if I'm doing something wrong. So you use the discount code, but you should already have a discount, I believe. The discount code is for the affiliate. It's more of an affiliate code, but because Faceplant is on sale right now, you can't add the discount. Discounts don't stack with their sale. Yeah. So all right, fuck it. Let's do a bite. And I guess what I'll do as well is, I'm trying to think, maybe I'll show you my snare. So I was up really late last night trying not to wake up my girlfriend, but I have a question for you. One of these snares is from Chi. One of these is from me. Which one is which? Let me know in the chat. Chi and me. One of these is from Chi. One of these is from me. Which is which? Plot twist, they both alk? Nope, they're not. I honestly want to see you make sirens and alarms in Faceplant 2.0. Okay, I guess we could start with that. Nope, one of them is me, one of them is Chi. Let me know. What do you guys think? 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 If you guessed second one from you, I guess. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you can make 6 snares in Faceplant. And broke, so I'll stick with subscription. Ironically, Faceplant is one of my less used kilohearts. Django, the update is free. So, yeah. Using some of the amazing modulators that we have, specifically the audio follower, you can create snares kind of like this. There's a couple of things that I added to this stuff, to both of these, to kind of correct them. But snares are now easier than ever from the audio follower of doing an amazing thing called this, and you can create some really sick sounds via that. So the reason why this is really important to me is because typically if you've seen me do this, I would have to go into either Snap Heap or Multipass and then add that old envelope follower. So the fact that you can do this now makes this process way, way easier. Let's, I guess, take a look at, I guess, doing some kind of riser, because that's what was requested. So we'll start with a sine wave, and then we will grab a filter, and then we'll grab a curve, and then do they have the regular shape on here? The factory one, simple. No, these are all different. Where's the regular curve? It used to be like, it's fine. It's not that hard to make. Audio follower is better to the EQ. Can make this mini soothes in your patch. Yeah, man, it's so good. So good. Sugoi. Okay. So we'll do this, and we'll set this to an incredibly slow rate, like 26 to 4. And then we will set this here to like 2. have a limiter. I guess I shouldn't do the, we can do, what's it called? An actual riser, because I was thinking more of like Silent Hill, like when the world changes. Squeak. Squeaker, squeaker, squeaky, squeaky. Okay, so there's a place to start. We'll set that there. And then what we can also do is, over time, automate the mix of a pitch shifter. Sorry, I'm not used to where all the effects are yet, so you'll have to forgive me. But we can set that to +12. And then we can set this to automate. And really what risers and stuff are just automation over time. So you can do like an ensemble to try to mitigate like how harsh it can be. And then what you can also do is automate some kind of FM over time. Oh, that's got its own output. I didn't want to do that. So we can automate something like this. Go here. And then this can get more complex as it goes. So that's really the key to making that work. No, they still have options. Real trap shit. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so really that's kind of the key to making risers in general. Now this is actually foreign to me. I haven't seen what is this thing? 100%. Okay, no, it's fine. All right, so yeah, you can do something kind of like that, or you can do something like this where you have more automation. You can also start with just a regular sine wave like this. And then something else that you can do is, for funsies, you can grab yourself an LFO, and this can control the initial like kind of movement. So you don't want to set it too far. Yeah, but what you do is you automate the slope over time to make this go faster. So what's going to happen is it's going to start really slow. And then it kind of speeds up to do lasery things. So yeah, there's that. All right, let's do some fun stuff. We need a limiter because we're going to break stuff as we usually do. And I do want to talk about that sound made my dog curious. I'm sorry. Looks like zebra a little bit. It looks exactly like faceplant. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's grab a filter and we're going to toss this here like this. They give you a bunch of snap-ins now. I know, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so we'll start with that. Maybe push that out into some saturation. Then what we are going to do is add a, if I can find it, saturator. And we're going to grab an LFO like this and move that into bipolar. Set the stereo to mono. Hey, Chris. Okay, so there's a good starting point. So from here we can break into our other stuff that we usually do, which we've got our multipass now, but this is really awesome because we can start to Now that most effects are free, I grabbed PP. I'm sorry, you did what? Who's grabbing what? No, I'm kidding. That's awesome. I hope that you love it because you've been in my chat long enough. You know that I love it. I too like to grab PP. Who doesn't like to grab PP? I PP, you PP, we all PP together. Okay, so one of the coolest features with the new update is, hello Dash, hey Diego. I'm not Dash, but I'm still saying hi because you're in my chat. So yeah, one of the coolest things with this is that now we actually have this LFO table here. And I like this a lot because this is a great way to actually add some control to chaos. And what I mean by that is that you can actually randomize the wavetable. But the thing is that no matter what you do, it's always going to be within the confines of a shape like this. So this is really fun because the shapes or like the patterns are always going to be confined within a specific range, but the movement is always going to kind of like have like a relationship, if that makes sense. Love the vids from both of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if we were to duplicate this, you can see that both of these are being automated. We can maybe flip the phase of this one or flip the cycle. And now we can add some gain. We can add some gain. We can add some gain. But from this particular position, what we can actually do is a couple of things. This streamlines so many processes because normally speaking, what you would have to do is come into this and then map all these together. But that's kind of obsolete. So instead, what I should have done was just map this to a macro, but it's fine. Instead of having to do all that stuff, you can just go to a separate macro like this and set the chaos here. So that way, if you actually just want to turn this into an LFO, all you have to do is manipulate the knob. Yay, secrets. So with that, now we can grab one of these here. Doesn't really matter. Squeaker, squeaker. And we can start to, I know, manipulate this like this. Grab some distortion before we even do anything else. And this should sound pretty cool, although it seems kind of fast. So we're going to slow it down a bit. All right, sweet. Now let's go ahead and add a top filter on the other side. And then we can grab something kind of like that. And then I do need to slow this down just a little bit more. Jesus T-posed for our sins. Hello. Amazing name. Amazing name. Oh yeah, that's what you guys came in here for. So yeah, some really sick stuff. What we can do now is we can make sure that our low end is in mono and then just not touch it. Noise. So everything below, let's say 110. Nice girthy sound. We've got our nonlinear filter here that we can manipulate with one of these guys. And again, I'm doing this backwards. Most of the time I do this via mapping them with macros here, but it's fine. I'm not really here trying to teach you. All right, let's get that chorus going. So now we turn that on, and then we're going to automate this. And then we're going to set that here, set the delay to low. Let's give it a little bit of stereo, but we want to automate it. Oh, wait. So what I'm also going to do is probably spread the signal out just a little bit. That way we can have some, nice, easy stuff. Nice. Okay, so this is a very basic version of Neurobass that I make. Maybe we can add some top end to this. Usually it's way more complicated than this, but What's really awesome is now multipass and snap heap respectively have a mix knob. So if I want this to be like this, I can just go, oh, I just want it to be, you know, something else. Right? And then if I want to activate this, are you not entertained? I've got all kinds of sounds like this available on my website. That's pre 2.0 release. I will be working on a new Eternum pack via the new update. But yeah, so what I typically like to do as well is I like to make the generator, and we can use snap heap for that. We can use squeaker snap heap for that. So I guess we'll also stick with the LFO table, but I'm going to do this one justice this time. So I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to duplicate this. And then now, as opposed to having to map everything via the modulators here, I'll just map it to the macro one, because you can do some extra crazy modulation with that. But let's go ahead and grab a couple different randoms. And this is why this is amazing, because typically speaking, if I use these two, I'd be donezo. And not only that, but the LFOs only had basic shapes. So between all of that, we can now, you know, grab a bunch of these and do all kinds of crazy stuff theoretically. And this is just like, this is just like the easy stuff. So I almost did the same thing where I started reaching for other things. So we can grab that. And then really just like have fun with grabbing these macros and stuff and messing around with them to change the pitch and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Love you, honey. So we can grab some distortion, and distortion is really nice to actually add the spread on top of the drive because it's going to break the sound. Then we can add in some interesting movement like a filter. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. It doesn't really matter. But I'm kind of just showing you guys like how powerful this tool is and how amazing this is. And I have actual dedicated tutorials on all this stuff, so forgive me if I'm not like explaining everything. But with that being said, something else that we can also do is maybe just take this and map that here. So we've got all kinds of crazy modulation that's going, and now you can see that all you have to do is hit a button and it's going to do stuff. Let's go ahead and add a limiter to that. I'm going to turn this down to like -2. And then I'm also going to, I'm going to grab another instance of multipass. I'm going to grab this here, turn the dynamics up, boom. That way we've got some high end on that. And then the other thing that I want to do with this is add a little bit of space. Kind of like so. And then we can just map that there. There's one more thing I wanted to do. What was it? Let's pull the, oh, that's a notch. Yeah, I wanted to add in an ensemble. And then we can just map that there, have that do the thing, and then let's finish that up with a low pass filter. Now, typically in the past, you were able to, I don't know if it's a bug or not, but typically in the past you were able to, let's just do a different one. This is amazing. Hold shift or hold command and then add a new modulator. So I gotta ask about that. But yeah, so with this, like all you have to do is push a button and it works. And what's really cool is that you can actually manipulate this between the two here. So you've got number 1, number 2, and then you can kind of play with these. So check this out. Pretty sick. That's not all. So what's also really fun about this is we can grab a pitch mod and Oh, sorry, note. Note was the one. Set this to our root note, which I'm hitting F. Set the range to like 24s, cars and clothes. And then we can scale this kind of like so. So that way, whenever we play a different pitch, it's going to do something different. Now, likewise, actually, we'll leave that one alone. But theoretically, whenever we play this now, let me pull this back up. Sorry. I'm going to make this smaller over here. You'll see that the speed of this should change depending on what note we play. Yeah, so that works, but it's that was a little bit overkill. So I'm going to back off of that just a tad, maybe like 20%, and now maybe even less so. Let's try 10%. Nice. So yeah, making neurobase has never been easier. It is, I mean, granted, this is something that I do like every day, but probably to a fault. I'm sorry, honey, I love you. But with that, it's still like super duper easy to implement. Yeah, but it's cool because, sorry, I keep pulling up the same thing, but it's cool because you can kind of just like get incredibly intricate with stuff like this, right? With how things work. And you can also like do these other cross mappings here. So like this is mapped to stuff on the outside, it's mapped to stuff on the inside, and the relationship building is really easy now. So typically speaking, nice, now we just need crossover options for linear phase and dynamic phase. You could do that. I think for me personally, like I'm looking forward to the granular synth, and then I'm also looking forward to, I found a second way to barely get paid. I'm sorry, Django. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the granular, and then I would also like a wave shaper. That's probably my only requests for the future. So now we're just beefing this up a little bit. But what we can also do is we can turn this off, and then whenever this is mapped, then this will, whenever this is off, it'll just be our sine wave. Now whenever we turn it on, is multipass pretty essential for this, or can you get similar effects by stacking the free filter? You can. So theoretically, you can do all of this within Snap Heap, or you can split the lanes into low, middle, high. But what you lose if you do this is a master effect chain. So, damn boy, you have 6 sound. Thank you. Why do you say it like that, boy? So yeah, I mean, making sounds within this is like, I've said this so many times, but Faceplant is the meta, you guys. Faceplant is the best synth that you can get your hands on with the collapse. What's new with 2.0? So we've got some new modulators. We've got a mix knob in multipass and Snap Heap, and I can't tell you that this is this is actually the best thing about this for me. But we also have modulators within Faceplant multipass and Snap Heap now. So as opposed to only having 2 up here, you've got all of these. We've got LFO tables, we've got curves. As far as new modulators, where is it? There it is. So we've got curves, which this is kind of more akin to creating like really fast multi-stage envelopes. So as opposed to having to like do that, you can just double click or just click once in places, and this is really sick. You've got mod remapping. No love for UVI Falcon. So I've had Falcon since 2018. It's not for me. It's theoretically really powerful, but like the issue with it is that it just takes forever to get stuff done. Whereas like the semi-modular approach for this is like, oh, you want an effect? Just click here, find your effect, boom, boom. Oh, you want to do modulation? Just hit the plus button, boom, boom, boom. So like the efficiency aspect of it is really how I make those kinds of sounds like that. And that's why this is so important. And with all this, it scales. Yeah, the workflow in Falcon isn't very great. It does sound good. So there's that. I hope it got some AC for summer included as well. I know, right? Because it'd be hot. It'd be hot. So yeah. But the speed of it and the flexibility. But the other thing that's really amazing about this is like, even if you only have multipass or snap heap, I would still recommend getting them because of how much effects they come with. And the reason why is because if you do something else, like let's say Vital, right? And I'm just going to pull up something that I made. I don't really care to show you guys what I made in Vital because, oh, actually, that's not true. I've got a free sample, free preset pack on my website. So if you guys want to download that, you can do that. But yeah, let's just pick this one. So what you can do is pull up something like multipass and then just pull up, you know, any preset that you've made. Let me find something that says filter on it. Akumu filter, right? Turn on the mix. You don't need this anymore, but this is exactly why I was saying, in 1.0, you had to map everything to a mix, and that's why my life has become so much easier now. So yeah, now that you do that, you go from this to, you know, hold on, let me throw a limiter on there because it's going to get loud and proud. But now you've got stuff like that that makes it way more viable. Or if you wanted to turn it into a generator or something, sorry, that's my partner. She's working right now too. Then you turn this on, and then you turn the random depth on. Oh, that's a filter. Sorry, we need a generator. Hello? But the crazy thing is that you can start to stack these. So the flexibility that you have between making these insane like effect racks, it makes any synth that you have more viable. Sorry, I can't talk. But you know, from making this stuff, right? So I went through all the trouble of making this sound today. Viable, I know, right? But with this, I can save this as a preset, right? And then pull that to that other patch that I was using. So we can be like new 2.0 release filter rack. And then now I've always got that. So even if I were to change this up, so hold on, let's do this with this one as well. Let me save this. New 2.0 generator, right? Even if I were to say, okay, let's do a new patch. Well, I can just go to multipass here and pull up any of these effect racks that I made. So that should be like in the new thing or something. New 2.0 release filter. There it is. So this is awesome. How does one do a FM? Got me a headlock on that. All you do is, I'm going to hit reverse. Actually, no, I'm not. We can always make another one. You go here, you grab an oscillator, and then you hit the plus button and go to either phase, shift, harmonic, semitone. And if you do it to the level, it'll do AM or ring modulation. But So it's super easy to do that stuff. And what's crazy is like you can do FM to FM to FM. So you can FM this, and then you can do cross FM. You can feedback it with itself. So the options that you can do with this are pretty nuts. Cool. I'm in the FM route these days. Yeah. So typically speaking, what I like to do is use a very basic waveform, kind of like this. Sorry, that's not basic, but actually, I don't know why I did that. Hold on one sec. So use a basic waveform and then modulate this or FM this with the wave table up to 32 operator FM. And then what I typically like to do is just make like a custom wavetable or something. That's going to be shit. Maybe something kind of like that. And then process it a couple of times. Maybe add distortion, kind of like so. If you guys didn't know about the wavetable maker, you are missing out and sleeping on it. We also need to morph this because it's nothing. So there we go. Cross morph it. I fucked up, but it's fine. There we go. Now we can do filtering on this, which is super awesome. So you can just create keyframes. And you hit done. And now look, you've got a custom wavetable. So with this, you can have something be FM'd now, right? Whenever this turns on. So now we can also grab a secondary randomizer like this, and you can modulate that here and maybe set that to smooth, but at a really slow rate. So now we are just further making the sound more complex. Yep. Alckemy.com. Rip my wallet. Vital lets you FM anything, but the LFOs and envelopes aren't phase accurate. Oh, I didn't know that. Did I see random can go to 0 hertz now, pinged with a signal? I did know that. So you can like... So now what he's saying is that instead of having to have movement, you can randomize the ping with a brand new signal, or that each time you hit it, it's going to be an offset. So that's going to be really useful when you're doing stuff like drums. So we'll save this. I'll leave this for all of the, I'll toss this for all of the Ether members. New PP neuro bass hybrid, sure, whatever. But making drums is something that is incredibly slept on in Faceplant as well. You can do just some sick stuff. I just recently came out with a video on how to make like percussion and all that, but if you take a look at this, and let's use the new curve for this, I'm gonna go here and set this to be really short. Then I will grab this guy, maybe, there we go. Okay, this might not be the best tool for that, but that's okay. Oh no, okay, it's fine. What we can do is create percussive loops like this. Boom. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, it's not so bad. It was just kind of weird at first. But what we can set is this here, kind of like so. And then we can add in some modulation to the amplitude. So now whenever this triggers, we can set the loop point to infinite. I'm not sure if I'm only modulating one point or not, but that's our, oh, there's our sample offset. So this is cool. You can modulate that? I didn't know that. Can you? You can. Surprises for everybody today. So no, this is incredible, because what this means is that you can actually change this to modulate the actual sizing of that. I know you just told me that, Dash, but I didn't understand until now. This is incredible. because what this is going to do is pretty much generate infinite pieces of percussion for us. So now what we're going to do is grab an arbitrary amount of FM, kind of like so, and then we're just going to set this to any value here. Okay, so we're also going to click on that so that way now we can grab another randomizer here and kind of flip this around. Maybe not so much, but just enough to where it'll do its thing. Sweet. Send it through a convolution reverb. We can just grab something short, maybe. All of these are really long. All of these are really long. Whoa. How many does she have? Sweet. Okay, now we've got a frequency shifter here. I love my partner. She's great. And we can actually flip the frequency shift of this by just like maybe 5% at the most. And then we can also even use maybe like short delays if we wanted to. So we can randomize the feedback on this, or sorry, the mix. But now I will grab a noise oscillator, and then I'm going to duplicate this and set this to the level here. And turn this down. Cool. So from this, we are going to use the randomizers now, and we are going to manipulate the speed of this. So what we need to do now is these are actually too long. So I'm going to create another curve if I can, kind of like this. And I'm going to shorten some of these up, because if it's too long, then it starts to sound like a bass pluck, which is fine in some cases, but we're looking for something that's going to be like really short and percussive. So, lol. Lol. You're looking for something, what? What are you trying to say? What do you mean? Do you want a muffin? So now we can use this though to pretty much create like really interesting percussive lines out of this. And it doesn't seem like much at first, but it's not about what you have, it's about how you use it. Doesn't seem like much at first, but you'll get used to it. Okay, so what? Now that you have something like this, stop it! We can add a little bit of distortion to this. I know, right? This is definitely adult hour. And it's 7 in the morning. I'm trying to focus. We can add some hi-hat to this on the top end, so that way it's a little bit like pseudo OTT. What? You said I'm trying to focus. I heard I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to. Oh. So you can see that from generating all this stuff, though, that you're creating like just a bunch of different timbres and stuff that is really cool. And if you really want to like kind of wet it up. Then you can add a little bit of dispersion. I know. I typically like to do this though, just because, or put it in the back, because this gives it like a physical modeling aspect of it in conjunction with the FM. But you can see that like this is an amazing tool for creating like different kinds of percussion and stuff. And then maybe something else that could be useful too is actually like throwing a filter on here. So that way it sounds more like a hat and less of like an actual like noise thing. And then you can add some compression to this to make it a little bit more punchy. Yeah, so if you were to bounce out like maybe even just 2 bars of this, and then go like this, you can see that you've got different rhythms that are like somewhat off time, but they will loop perfectly. So I'm not sure why that's so much louder, but we're gonna turn that down a little bit. But even still, what's really cool about this is like now that you have something like that, you can set this to repitch mode, and then you can start to play with the pitching and timing of it. So, all right, so if you had something like that that looped perfectly, then what you've done essentially is created a percussion line. And then you don't have to have the whole thing, but what you could do is something kind of like this, where you cut it off. Yeah, you can bounce in place, and then you can change the pitch, or you can restretch it out and pretty much just play with these percussive lines. And what's really cool about this is that these, again, they're off time, but they help kind of create different rhythms and stuff. You can even, you know, just take a piece of this and find something else that you like. So. And kind of just get granular with it. But this is an amazing tool for that. And I've got a dedicated video on that, but even still, within this stuff, this is really cool that you can kind of switch between the modulation points of where the curve starts. I didn't actually know this, so that's awesome. Yeah, I think I want to say that the same way. No, that's different. Interesting pork. There we go. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah, so by adding delays and stuff and ring mod and all that, I guess this is the one that I originally made, but it's the same thing. But even still, within this now, you can you do this with the LFOs too? No, so you can only modulate the start and end times between the curves. So that's why you would use that, because it's a dedicated, the curve is a dedicated multi-stage envelope generator, whereas the LFO is meant to be used as such. So that's why you would do one or the other. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess I forgot the pitch shifter on this one and also the delays. But even still, it's pretty sick, and you can see that you can create some really sick stuff with that. But yeah, what else can we do that's really fun? I guess we can get into making some kind of pad or whatever. That's really fun. La 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 la. Let's go ahead and give it some release. And we're going to spread it out. All right, so the key to making awesome pads is hold on one second. The key to making awesome pads is to have multiple layers. And so with that, you can make some pretty cool stuff just by... Oh my god, it's already 80 degrees. Ugh.
It's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. I am on fire. So adding some stuff like that is setting this to a really slow rate, kind of like so. And then we can maybe kind of curve this to the outside a bit. Maybe a little bit less so. And then set this to a really slow rate, kind of like that. And then now... Ooh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and randomize this really slow. Sorry for the noise, by the way. There's nothing I can do about it. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here and fry. I live in Vegas, and it's 80 degrees inside, so yeah. So let's go ahead and do something really fun with this now. I'm going to create an arpeggiator, and the first thing that we want to do is create an LFO, and we need something like this, and set that here. Maybe. That's fine. We're going to set this to sync. And I'm going to set this here to 100%. And we should have a nice easy pluck now. So the next piece of this is we can set this to a square shape now. Flip the phase. And set this to right click +12. And then we want to make sure that this is not unipolar. So now this is going to get sick, guys. Okay, let's make this even more complicated and have some fun with this. And I'm not setting this to control right now, so this is all being randomized, but just for the sake of creating like really pretty things, I'm going to kind of just show you what you can do with it. So, what am I doing? Oh, that's what I'm doing. What am I doing? So now we can add a little bit of this here and turn the correlation off. And then I'm going to add another randomizer here to kind of bring that up. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing things. Just realized we can now quantize the modulation for pitch shifter and snappy. Wait, do what now? So we can also grab an LFO here. I'm gonna not ignoring what Dash is saying. I'm gonna wait for him to respond. But we can also pan this from left to right, super slow. So set that here, and then just let this go at maybe like 8/4, so 2-to-1. 2-to-1, squeaker, squeaker. And then we can kind of pull back on the delay a bit and let that do its thing too. Using remap to make sure it's always in scale? Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, gotta go. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's really cool. So let's go ahead and make this even more complicated now. Faceplant update, easy. Hey, freshly baked D&B. Hello, D&B. This is going to be an octave. And then we are going to duplicate this one. This one's going to be plus 19. And we're probably just like start pulling on the same stuff now, but we can implement this as well. Like so. And then we want to detune the hell out of these and spread them out. And then we can use another bandpass filter to kind of get some nice going things, kind of like so. That's so nice. We can add another group where we grab a sampler and we can grab a choir. I like the Gregorian choir. It sounds really nice. That's fine. But we can raise the attack on this and then grab another modulator. That's so dope. Thanks. And we're going to go smooth, set it to be super slow. And then for this one, I'm actually going to set this at an octave lower. But what I also wanted to talk about was that because of the modulation system and the routing system, you can get some really cool things. So what I'm actually going to do though is I am going to send all of these into lane 3. And then I'm going to send this into lane 2. Send this to lane 3. So just showing you guys some of the routing options that you can do, but we'll send this to lane 1. We'll send this to lane 1, lane 1. I think, yeah. So these three are going, or these four rather, are going to lane 1. The choir is going directly to lane 2. And what we can add on this is a transgate, like so. And now whenever this comes in, it's going to be transgated. So, hey, Tollington.
Recording to logbook.
Yo, thank you so much, Ross. I really appreciate the follow. We need to add some release to this, though. Okay, let's finish this up with some waves. So now what I'm going to do is one more group here. Oh my god, did they add end of phase triggers to the LFOs? I think so. Now I see why this plugin is more like a DAW than a plugin. Yeah, you can make an entire tune out of this very easily. In fact, I think that maybe I'll show you guys one. I'll show you guys one preset that I made. That is just going to be for cheeks. It's going to be for cheeks. You're going to have to ignore like half of what I say today because I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so with this, and I'm actually not really showing you guys anything new other than what Faceplant can do, but some of the stuff is new, but even still, what we can do with this one is create some of this and then just kind of wave that in. Let's grab one more randomizer, and this needs to be really slow. I know, I'm sorry. So this is stereoized. We can set the seed to random, but now whenever this comes in, we'll have some nice like wave sounding thing over the pad. And there we go. Sorry, wrong chord. And so now what you can do is we can add an overall filter over the whole thing. And you can control that, like, let's say with the mod wheel or something. So I'm playing everything with a QWERTY keyboard, so forgive me, but... And I think what I'm going to do is pull this before the reverb. I would say that Faceplant is the best synthesizer on the market right now. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm sorry. The grid is great. But as far as ease of use and flexibility and workflow, this is your one-stop shop to make whatever you want to make. So yeah, I'll leave this in the Discord as well for anybody that's an Ether member or above. I need a pad name. Let's call this, I need a pad name. Somebody. Pad name? Okay, I got it. Ready? All right. Pad name. Okay, so what do you guys want to see next? We did a neuro bass earlier, which is what I always do. We did some percussion, Paddington. I think their ethos with the update is true modular fashion. I want to see everything generate triggers. Aural waves. That's actually a really cool name. I should have named it that. Pad name. Penguin. What other kinds of sounds would you guys like to see? Don't ask me to make a Skrillex bass. I've already been there, done that. I've got videos on it. But if you want to see something in particular, I'm happy to kind of take any request for a sound design. Penguin. Also, do Foley sounds. Okay, I can do that. Crazy bells, space laces sounds, acid bass lead. Okay, let me use all the new features in one patch. I've already done that. Hold on. I just took a screenshot. Flume type sounds? Okay. So let's do Foley first. Like Foley's easy because like you just need a sample. So you can literally take something kind of like a drum thing. Maybe a loop. Maybe not. Surely. Space laces. I don't know what space laces sounds like. I usually don't do like artist stuff anymore. I've got a How to Byte series if you guys want to check that out, but okay, fuck it. Let's just grab some Foley. That's fine. This is all we need. Okay, I thought that was, but that's super... Okay, surely some of this percussion has got to be clicky or something. There we go. Okay, so now we are going to randomize the start length. And we're going to grab a couple of these. We are going to... Whoa! What is happening there? We're going to randomize the length, and then we're also going to do the offset here. And now we kind of just are going to grab some stuff here that's going to kind of spread the signal out a bit. So for one, I'm going to grab this, and then we're going to grab another one here. I need a limiter. Now we're going to use a delay. Now we will use a phaser. And then we'll grab a frequency shifter here. So let's supplement this with some noise. And what I like to do with this is actually grab an LFO into a ramp and set this here. As you can see, you're going to get some interesting things, but what we're going to do is actually map this to the speed here. So now it's going to start to kind of do different stuff like that. We also need a filter. A filter. Let's grab another one here as well, and we're going to send that through a bandpass. And something else to make this, like some things that you can do to make this sound more organic is one, add a ring mod. You can also set this here to where this only goes negative like this, and set this downward so it's never going to go past this amount. Let's give it some distortion. And then let's see what happens if we adjust the pitch. Okay, this is slowly becoming something else, but it'll be pretty fun. Yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead and add some stereo to these. We're getting phase issues, but it doesn't matter because it's the top end. I keep going for distortion and pulling up dynamics. Yo, thank you so much for the follow. Combi, appreciate it. So there's lots of little hits and blips with this that you can do. Did I hear correctly somewhere that kilohearts is working on a vocoder snap-in? Because that would be clutch. NDA. NDA, NDA. Peanuts, peanuts, safe word. So what's really cool about this, though, is that you can also add... Couch. Yo, somebody just followed. Thank you so much, Judah. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here, by the way. I hope that you guys are having as much fun as I am. So what's also cool about this is kind of like how we did with the percussion maker. You can also add FM to this. So what I'm going to do is also randomize how much FM this applies. So but yeah, you're getting lots of like organic textures and stuff. And so once you have something like that, this is essentially like the basis of creating a generator, which I've got tons of videos on. But by using some kind of Foley, or you can also use like a drum loop or something. So maybe you can use a break instead. You need a break, man. I'm just kidding. Then you can get lots of like clicks and stuff like that to get something interesting. So Foley thing. Okay, what else did we have on here? Crazy bells. Okay, I've got one for you. We are going to start off with something like that. Then we're going to grab another one. Then we're going to actually do AM on this now, but we're going to set this to +12. And then we are going to grab an envelope here to set this to here. So now, that's way too fast, or way too slow. Once we have something like that, we're going to limit this, and then we're going to actually duplicate this, and we're going to AM this again, but with an arbitrary amount. So we can do something kind of like this, but maybe offset it a bit, and then add a separate envelope to that second one here, like this. We can also grab some unison like this and detune it. Now let's go ahead and give it some distortion, just a bit. That's more so what I was looking for. So one thing that's really cool that you can do with Slice EQ is you can create physical modeling things like this, and we're going to create a custom comb filter. This trick that I'm showing you is courtesy of Data Broth. Go follow him. He's really awesome. But within this, we can, I'm just setting an arbitrary amount, so it's not really going to matter, but we can use this now and grab a note and set this to, let's go D sharp 1 and change the offset. We're going to need 2 of these, and what we're also going to need is just a touch of reverb to send into this, so like just a hair. More early, low size, more dampen, less decay. Now that we have something like that, we can actually send this into a larger reverb. And then if we want to make this more of like a bell type thing, then we can even do this to where we are throwing this here. Maybe even here. Okay, let's send this into a delay. I'm going to set this to ping pong, set this to sync. And now, whenever we get into this kind of stuff, how did I learn all this stuff? I do sound design almost every day, so it's just kind of one of those things. Does multipass have an OTT preset? It does. What we can also do is grab some unison and set the detune up just a bit. Let's back off with a drive. Pull the spread up. Cool. So now that we kind of have like our basic sound, what we can start to do is start to implement this and start to change it in interesting ways that's not going to like destroy the pitch, but will add variation, I think is the best way to describe that. So through this, we're going to start to add a couple of lanes here through parallel that are going to start introducing other ideas. So first one will be here, and then we are going to need some of these and set this to a really slow rate. We're going to set that there, but maybe not at 100%, maybe just kind of like so. And then we'll add some chorus to this. So I guess we'll just start here, but and the first piece of this is to grab the mix here and do that. The second piece is to maybe create a different kind of chord with the pitch shifter. And we can do like a fifth or so and map this here as well. You can grab a comb filter. Now, the other thing that's important with this is, what is this at 0 dB, is we can actually set the gain on these as well. So that way we can turn on one or the other without the amplitude stacking, because I just noticed that. But once you get into doing something like this, go here to 100%, There we go. Doesn't need to be perfect. You got nothing. Now we are starting to add different stuff to this to make it more interesting. And we can also start to bring in some movement as well. And maybe for this one we can just like drown it in some kind of convolution. What? Really appreciate what Anne does, showing us the way. Anne? Oh, that's a new one. You just call me Ian. Wait, now I need to like come up with, now that I understood what that is, I need to come up with a new like name that starts with an I. So that way it's IAN, Alchemy Neuro. Imbecile Alchemy Neuro. Perfect. Totally works. Is it out? Yes, it's out.
What about I am nude?
I am nude, but I'm not.
They don't know if your camera ain't on.
No, it's fine. Only thing that's still missing in this update is though all snaps in Faceplant are polyphonic, you still cannot detune them even through master unison, but you can just use a inside alchemy. Okay, stop. No, so yeah, anyways, good lord, guys. With these, we can shift them now to move them. So we can go here, and now these are going to move on their own. So now we've got a crazy, interesting bell thing, theoretically. Let's set both of these at the middle, so that way we're going to get sound, because otherwise it's going to keep doing that. Okay, I thought that would be cool, but I think what I'm going to do instead is just set these to one or the other. So this will go down, this will go down, this will go up. And ideally, you would probably want to macro these anyways, but now something is always going to be coming out of this. And then I think what I'm also going to do is grab this and send it through here, so we should be getting more of a delay and stuff. Hey, Michael. I'm kind of wondering why the reverb isn't ringing out as much as I thought it would, though. But in any case, let's go ahead and set this to here. And now, instead, I will reset this, and then these can kind of feed into each other. So sometimes you got to mess around with it and see what happens, but that's why the routing is so cool, because we have those options. Let me undo that, actually, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and then we'll just manipulate it manually, because it's going to sound way cooler if we do that. But my question is, why is it doing that? So what's going on with the gain? Nice. let's go ahead and move the filter over this way. Maybe right here. And then let's move the snap heap one right there. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. And then we can also modulate this. So something that we can start to think about as well is adding some kind of arpeggiator here. And set that to here, set that to like -12. We're going to just move this very slowly. Very slowly. So we can set this kind of here as well. Boom. Maybe a dotted. But we would need this to duck, and then we would also need the other one to duck as well. So the delay here, duck. I low-key love that they replaced the ADSR knobs with numbers in the output. I don't know why, it just feels better. Yeah, I didn't really notice, to be honest. But yo, Noise, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's super kind of you. Okay, maybe 1/16th, and let's see what that does. I'm going to turn the limiter back down. Yeah. I'm not really feeling that. But anyways, some of these other bells that you can do within this, I've made a lot, but Soul Steel. Yo, thank you so much, guys. You don't have to go very far in order to get really nice bells. Soul Steel! Yo, Akai, Tombi, welcome to the Member of the Lab. You guys can catch the live streams. So that one's one of my favorites. There's also a couple of these that are really nice. Soul Steel! Yo, Winter, welcome. This one is super simple. It's just delay and reverb. Tollington, welcome to the lab. Thank you so much, Noise. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't show you guys the presets that I made. For this particular factory preset or factory release, but I can show you other stuff that I made. Yeah, really nice stuff. Soul Steel! Yo, Oral Decay, welcome to the lab. I've got some other stuff too, like this. Let me find some of these other bells that I've made in the past that are pretty crazy. Oh, this is nice. But that's not what I was looking for. I think Cyber Bell. Maybe not. Let me see. First bell, simple bell. Yo, Alk, fave new features in this update? Yo, honestly, the mix knob on multipass and snappy. Yeah, that one's really cool. So, what else do we have? We had some other requests. Let me see. Space Laces sounds, please. I've asked in a lot of streams. Space Laces. Foley, Space Laces. Acid lead bass. Okay, I got you on that one. Let's do that one first. We are going to need some distortion on this. And then we need a super crazy non-linear filter, because this is going to add more distortion to this. And if anybody else has any kind of sound design requests, that's kind of what we're doing today, so... Limiter? Alright, well, there's an acid sound pretty quickly, but that's not good enough. Let's do more. Could I explain the way to learn sound design, the steps? I do have a video on dedicated to how to learn sound design, but the premise of it is actually what I would recommend is you guys go watch the chat that I have with my instructor on cultivating creativity. But my philosophy on learning anything is to learn the structure of how something works, and that includes learning the vocabulary or learning the terms and learning the relationship between those, and then from there you can design whatever you want. But that's a very oversimplified way to say all that stuff is you have to learn to identify the sounds that you like to hear. So getting familiar with a saw wave, a square, a triangle, a sine, getting familiar with what FM sounds like, what does a filter sound like, what does a chorus sound like, and all that stuff, because your ears are incredibly nuanced, right? From day one, right, we have these little toys that you hit the thing and it spins and it's like, oh, the cow goes moo, oh, the sheep goes bah, right? We can tell those things, and you can teach yourself in the same way with sound design. It's just a little bit more, or I guess a little bit less obvious, because the sounds themselves are usually super simplified. Even speech or machines or ambience that you hear in the world is actually much more complicated because you have all of these other factors and spaces around. Whereas with this stuff, it's just sine waves and squares and the like. So there we go. Cheers for the directions. Update in progress. Oh, don't. You figured it out. So did they take away the retrigger on-off buttons for LFOs, or am I blind? No, that would be, if you go LFO, it's right here. So infinite, sustain, ping pong, and reverse. So you would just hit it to infinite. And there's your retrigger. Let's grab one of these guys and give this some chorus. So yeah, this is pretty easy stuff to make, and then once you have this, you can transition it into pretty much any waveform that you want. Yeah, and then you can even get like more nuanced with it by pitching something like this up and then adding more FM. And then something else that you can do as well is add a little bit of high end by pulling up the dynamics here. Yeah, this one's pretty easy to make. So acid sounds is just, get yourself some kind of filter and give it some high resonance, and depending on whenever you use the different modes, you start to add in a little bit of drive here. So even if I were to pull the distortion off of this, you can see that it colorizes the sound in different ways. So I would definitely encourage you to kind of mess with all those different modes. I would love to see these distortion types like within this as well. So that would be really cool. Resonant filter with an envelope attached, and you're already acidy. Yes, acid, disco. And then from there, it's just like, how do you want to color it? How do you want to like make it yours? Personally, for me, my favorite kind of sound is, for this kind of stuff, is just the square. So hold on one second. Yeah, that's my stuff. I'd love to see a bipolar distortion snap in for phase plant. Well, if you have a wave shaper, like a true wave shaper, then that's all you really need, because like I think like the whole like, oh, it's the first I'm not going to drop names, but look, it's just a matter of a waveform here of your quadrants and stuff. And so Trash 2 can already do it, but that's why I would like a wave shaper within Faceplant. Okay, any other requests for sounds? I don't know what Space Laces sounds like. I mean, I can't really tell the difference of like what their signature sound is, because to me it's just like dubstep. Granular sounding key sense. I already kind of made stuff like that. Try some wooden perks for instance. I already did that. They add sine resonator instead of saw and square. They did not, I don't think. Did I hear correctly somewhere about the vocoder? Maybe start by carving out 30 minutes every day before after work. Rift. Yeah. Which, I mean, the plugin sounds good by all means, but I don't think that they're the first to develop something like that. Lead sound like Lorne does. I don't know what Lorne sounds like. No, his sounds are different. They're like spacey blip blops. Spacey blip blops. That's really easy to do. Just grab an LFO like this and go here. And then if you want like things that are blippy, right click this and go to +12. And then set this to a really fast rate. And set this to decay. Resample or Reese, just a suggestion if you're looking for a task. Look towards the beginning of the video. That was the first thing that we did. Yes, I have. That's pretty easy to do. And then I guess from there you can kind of just shape it how you want. Tight. I'll watch from the beginning later then. Cheers. Yeah, for sure. Is it possible to record audio from instruments straight into Bitwig without having to bounce it out? Yes. Like set something to record, like resampling. You just create a new audio track like this, and then you go find your thing, and then you go Faceplant post, set it to record, hit mute. And there you go. LFO tables. If you have time, give it a listen. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do it off a stream because I don't want to get copyrighted. Yeah, so LFO tables are pretty much wave tables, but they work as LFOs. So, no, I know who Lorne is. I just don't I don't know the sound off the top of my head. Didn't know it was that simple. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the question. So yeah, LFO tables, you can make your own wave tables in the same way, but what's cool is that these work in tandem with, what's it called? They work in tandem with regular wave tables. So not only can you use, something like this as an oscillator, but you can also upload this as well as a wave table, and then you can smooth it out. So that's a really, really neat option that they did. So you can find like a happy middle in between. But what I like to do personally is randomize these, randomize the frames. But what's cool is that it still kind of confines within that shape. So, if you have something here that you're kind of just moving back and forth or whatever, like really slow, maybe set that to kind of go here. And like, let's say you've got a filter over that or something. Then it's pretty neat. And then you can just set this to sustain. Yes, I will. I talked about snares at the very beginning of the video. Oh wait, you were already here for that. So yeah, that's pretty sick. Especially with how you can warp things and stuff. And then you can even take another one of these and offset the phase. What Dash was talking about was that you can do this, but instead of changing the phase like that, you just set it to 0. So now this will re-trigger a different start point. So even though the random isn't moving, it's changing the phase at a random place. So it adds an extra layer to like getting more control out of your randomization, and that's a really awesome thing to do. Sorry, honey. Is it hard to work while I'm on? Sweetie? Corey? Corey? Is it hard to work while I'm on? I'm sorry.
No.
You sure? I've never seen the scalar option in modulators. Can you please show me that one? Can't find videos of it. Scalar? Oh, this one? So pretty much what you do is, let's just come off of this. And it's very difficult to explain other than just kind of like, how do you say? Let me think about this. So it has to do with values. So what you do is you modulate something to this, like so, and then you grab something here, and it does this. Now on paper, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference what this does, but between the scaling, it is more of like a micro thing that you can do. So you send a randomizer through this, and this is going to scale it, or pretty much like divide that by 0.1. So you can see that the movement has become much smaller. Whereas if you turn this up to like 10 times 100, you see that it's too wide and it squares out. So this is kind of like getting micro with how you scale things, or you can also scale things to be bigger. So if you've got something at 20% and you throw a scale on it and you set it to ×2, then that means that it's going to double the size of how big that goes. No, that's not what that is. What you can do that though, well, sort of, because somebody just followed. Thank you so much. You can actually set a LFO like this and come in this way and use the step mode. And what you want to do is go to 12. And so now, actually 24, so that way you've got an octave, but this would be your 0. So you can set something like here, which would be an octave, something like this. And then you can kind of go in and find your steps. And I don't really know what that's going to sound like, but let's just pretend like that's that. And then I'll probably just do this at an arbitrary amount because it doesn't really matter. But this is how I make arpeggiators. And it works fine for me. And if you're worried about like the in-betweens and stuff, then you can snap the grid like this. So that way it'll snap to these things like so. And then now whenever you take that, let's make that kind of slow, but you can set this to scale of +12. And that's still really fast. Welcome to your worst nightmare. In a world full of sketchy things. Let's make this even worse. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that's how that works. The broken toy is reanimated to kill you type beat. It's nice they doubled the possible frequency for LFO too. Yeah, well, they also made it so that way you can go lower than 10 or lower than point tenths, or I guess 10 milliseconds. Yeah, so you can go lower than 10 milliseconds all the way down to 0. That's really cool. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll do it. How do you know that's copyright free? I do think that if you want to learn how to sound design from a particular artist, you should just go hit them up. But it's not released. So when it's released, that means that I'm going to get flagged. That's how that works, dude. So no, I'll do it later, or I'll do it off stream. I've already tried to design some stuff from him before. Let's see. What else we got? Other requests for sounds. Let me see here. Do you guys have anything else that you want to see? Lead sound like Lauren. I'd have to look it up. Preferably like things that are not from artists. So check it before you play it. Yeah, preferably things that are like, hey, a general sound or something. Could I mute for a bit while I listen? Did I do physical modeling yet? I did a little bit with bells earlier. I'm going to pivot over to rhythm now. I could try. It's not really my thing, but here, you just FM. I've tried to find tutorials about it in 2 years. No one does it. I'm sure it exists. I'm so sure it exists. Unfortunately. I'm sorry. What? They're not accurate. Why did I come up? What's interesting? I just don't do rhythm. It's like your evil 4D basses. Yeah, I could. I mean, I can do other kinds of basses, I suppose. It should be pretty easy to do that kind of stuff, though. You just want to... It's like space. Okay. You can just do something like this. And then set something here. To like sync. A lot of the rhythm sounds tend to just be interesting filters, combs, spectral effects. A lot of it's FM as well. So just kind of combining different... Oh, no wonder. I'm taking the output. I didn't want to do that. I was like, what? Do like a hyper growl thing. And then you need an output on its own, so creating a separate sub. And then you just distort the fuck out of this. And set every piece of movement to this as well, so... trying to like not narrow this is so hard. The new modulation features for vocal mixing. That could be cool. Okay, I'm gonna grab another one of these, and we're gonna like hard FM this now, and set that to the same thing because we need the screech. And then we can just kind of change the waveform or something. We can grab a multipass here. Dynamics. We can also maybe think about adding unison to either one of these. Maybe not. Maybe this one. Or sync. Rhythm bass has this platey squelchy sound to it. It's already kind of squelchy through the chorus. But, I mean, it can be... There's so many ways to do that. You can also do something like this, like super insane, where you try to peek that in through. God damn, I hate copyright. But it's kind of cool because if you have something like this, then you can kind of like flip this around. But you can just find like some simple wobbly wobbles or something. Curve morph. And then something else that might be interesting to do is to, instead of have the sub go all the way through, you can have that play with that. So, not the rhythm bass. How's it going to sound in double time LFO? Yeah, so, well, somebody brought it up, so, you know, I was just kind of covering it, but you can also flange it. Lots of different stuff you can do. A lead sound with kind of a sadness to it. Yeah, I could do that. All right, I don't like that sound, but let's get into the next one. And let's go into an envelope here. That leads into it kind of like this. Space doesn't make rhythm, but why does everybody hate rhythm? Because it's just kind of annoying. Let's grab another one of these, and we're going to shift the pitch just a little bit. And then we're going to grab another envelope like this. Set the attack on here. So that way Then we'll go to that one. So is this version of Faceplant better? I don't own either one. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you know my channel. Let's add just a touch of distortion. And then we want to add some glide. Faceplant comes with Bitwig, right? No. 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 Okay, hold on. I can't keep up with chat. Is this deep sadness, or are you wanting epic and loud sadness? I prefer bits of hatred and fear in mine personally. That's a different sound. Problem I have with is I listen to 5 songs and bam, all the same idea feel at least. Huh? What do you mean? It's a pretty substantial upgrade. Free update, so if you don't own PP1, PP comes with Bitwig. Nice, but space sound design is chill and not aggressive. Actually, you know what? Very substantial. LL, too good to be true. Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, rhythm's not my favorite. Hey, honey. No, I'm just kind of taking sound design requests and just doing what people are asking for. Someone's name is Hey Honey. Or someone's name is Honey. How is it possible to change color skin of synth? You have to go in and... Sorry, babe. I had to change the pronoun. You go into your kilohearts folder via your library. And... oh, you have to go into your sacred library. So your special one. There we go. And then you find kilohearts, which might be in application support. Let me see here. No, might be an audio. I don't remember. Plugins, presets. Yeah. Well, in any case, you find your kilohearts folder, and then you drag a conf in there, and then that will change to skin. There's a website that lets you create themes, and then also instructions on how to install them. Ring shifter into a ton of distortion lamp is a common sound I hear often in rhythm. Hey Patricia, this update came 2 days after I bought into the kilohertz ecosystem, so that should be good then, right? Because it shouldn't be. I was able to be annoyed by the lack of external automation support for a brief time, and the frequency shifter. I was just about to say your partner was probably curious there. Yeah, she was like, "What? Who the fuck you calling honey on stream?" Yeah. So if you want to kind of have something like this, or you want to make it kind of like sad or eerie, then what you can also do is have a secondary, or actually just slow this up, like really slow, like really, really slow. And then this will kind of drift it. Hey, roll. Slight chaotic boards of Canada. Pitch shifting makes my heart ache. My heart, it hurts. The shifting is good for horror all the time as well. Yeah. So just kind of having it be eerie like that, and then copious amounts of distortion. And also, if you want to make like those like booning like sounds that seem like low brass. But what I would recommend is maybe trying a saturator So that way you've got just a little bit of fuzz on top. In a world full of tacos. One man has the courage to review the best synth on the planet. It comes for you at night. I come for you in the morning. Yeah. So one thing that I don't like is how the modulators seem bigger, too much screen real estate. I mean, you can kind of adjust it because you can just look at that. So it's not that big of a deal to me anyways. Irradiated alien tacos. Yeah, the new version of Faceplant is amazing. This sounds like Space Laces, actually. Facepalm. Me, I forgot about that. Oh, what is the sideband option that's in some of the modulators? So what that ends up doing is, like, let's say you wanted to send a ring mod through into a sideband, or send a signal into a sideband, then you set that here like that, and then when you grab something like said ring mod, this will be modulated by the sine wave, or by the saw wave. So that's pretty much how you set that up. So the signal goes directly to something like that that uses an external modulator. Resonance, distortion, reverb, distortion, insta-horror sounds. Yeah, I mean, anything with reverb and distortion. I've been getting really into making abstract IDM stuff, and this represented a pretty big step. Well, you're in the right channel, because I do a lot of IDM stuff. Is that sideband and multipass or snap heap? Yeah, it supports both, but it's, I mean, right now it's in neither, but you can send it, or you can set that up to be in the sideband or external. What's good in this version? New modulators, just overall improvements to the workflow. So everything has a, honestly guys, my favorite is this, is that it has a new mix knob. This makes my life so much easier for making the presets that I like to make. Do I hear the warmth everyone says about digital versus analog? Yes, digital sounds very cold and analog sounds very warm. Okay, so it's like an internal sidechain signal, pretty much. Let's play Phase Invaders. No, it's got a new LFO table. It's got a new curve, which is pretty much a multi-stage envelope generator that's dedicated. So you go here like this, and you can do that. And then once you reach that, it becomes really easy to draw stuff. And you can also modulate the size of this, which is really cool. So if you set this to infinite, or if you set a loop point on, you can actually pick a window of this. So this is really sick. Oh, right. Yeah, you also have effect groups. Thank you for reminding me. So you can create a group. I never use this because it doesn't really cater to the workflow that I have, but you can toss everything within that if you wanted to, and put everything inside of the group. Although, okay, yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, so there's also grouping, which is pretty cool. And why is that? It's all about harmonics. It has specific character algorithms and harmonics that appeal to that particular thing. Voltage plays a part in it too, but yeah. I like that modulators can trigger each other now as well. Yeah, that's super cool. Especially like because you can set them at 0, so you can have them trigger different pieces of that, right? Boo boo boo. Pew pew. Can I cave groups? You can't save groups, no. Unfortunately, that would be really nice. But if you want to save groups, you might as well use multipass or snap heap. But that's something that I'm hoping for in the future as well. What other questions we got? It's a small thing, but I love it. Good. I'm glad that you found something that you enjoy. Oh, the big thing between this is that you have modulators within Snap Heap and Multipass now too. So as opposed to only having 2 LFOs or whatever, you've got all these. It's got MPE, which I don't have an MPE controller, so I don't bring it up. It's not that it's bad by any means, because that's really cool, but it's fully supported by MPE now with pressure and timbre and velocity and aftertouch and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's the new target visualization, so it'll actually show you the path of what goes where, which is really nice. Generator groups would be pretty cool too. Yeah, that would be nice, because then you can just like pull it up and then pull it up. But that would be so like, I can't imagine how difficult that would be with like saving those presets and stuff. Can I recommend making ARPs in Faceplant as of modulating the global pitch? Yeah, I'll just show you another one that I've made. Let me see here. Let me just type in ARP and I'll show you how it works. I believe this one should be pretty basic. Okay, what's going on with that? Sorry, guys. Okay, I can... What is going on here? Oh, I hit play. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I can show you this one. So this is coming out in a factory preset, but I'm using this in a tune. So you guys have already seen me make it, so I don't really see the point in hiding it. But this will be released in the factory preset stuff when it's ready. But the way that this works is you have an LFO that has a stepper. And so it's pretty basic, but whenever you try to make something like this, wait, this wasn't the one that I wanted to show. It's fine. That's still, I'm using that in a tune, but let's look at this one. Maybe this one, sorry. What you want to do is set this to like 12 or 24 like this, and then you've got these steps, and then you want to apply this to an octave setting between these. So now whenever you use this, see this is at 24 and that's being mapped by this, you'll see that it will create the sounds. No, I don't even know if I'm allowed to show them or not. I'm just like playing it safe. But I've got 20 patches that are coming out for the factory content too. Yeah, so you just want to take something like this and use the step mode to create your arpeggiators, and then set it to an octave or two. This is already available on Eternum 3 on the website, so. But this doesn't have anything from, the Eternum 3 doesn't have anything from Faceplant 2.0, so I have to start making like new patches and stuff. But even still, right, the same stuff applies. It doesn't change, like, it doesn't make these irrelevant by any means. No, I think everything's great. Hey, Mike. Yeah. So even though this was made in Faceplant 1.0, it doesn't change anything. So that bass is very, very angry. Hey, sad peeping. Yeah, but now that this update has come out, it's going to be a lot easier for me to design stuff like this, because typically what I had to do was, you'll see here that I've got a master mix macro on all of these, and that makes it really annoying because I'd have to map all of these here to a single macro in order to be able to turn it on and off. And now I don't have to do that. I can just do this. Yay! So my life is about to be way easier. Why Bitwig? Yeah, I know you're kidding. Yeah, so we already made one of these earlier today, and I'm going to be dropping that for all of the Ether members. I think it was like new PPP Neurobase. Yeah, so I'll be placing that after stream. Is there anything else that anybody wants to see? Any questions or anything that you guys are wondering about with Faceplant? The generator portion is always so much fun. Yeah, it's and I just love that you can save those presets, right? And then use it on other stuff. Like, I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record. That's stretching. A stretchy broken record. But Faceplant is the best synth on the market, hands down. Like, you can't get better than this. At least for me personally, like, okay, I get it. Some people have their favorites and blah 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 blah. But like, no. What is remap? I was late here and the update didn't really go into detail. So it's pretty much modulating a modulator. Bork-Guinness World Record. So if you've got a mod remap on this, I honestly think my problem with Faceplant is I never feel like the patches I make are very inspired. What? How could you say that? Where is this? There it is. Okay. So you've got a filter. You got a filter here. Yeah. Now you're going to need an LFO. You take the LFO and you map that here. So this LFO is now controlling the remap here. And what you do is you set the remap to the cutoff. And with this remap, you can come into this and edit it. So that way it's creating a more complex waveform with this. And so if you were to change this, you're pretty much modulating the curve of this. And the way that I like to think about it is that everything that's within the blue is going to be movement, and everything that's above, it's not going to go past, which you can set it to plus and minus, and that kind of creates a different shape. But typically speaking, it's everything that is below this, the movement will kind of stay in between. So you're pretty much just modulating another modulator. I love your music, fam. What the fuck? You're a god. Oh, should we know who you are? Hi. Sorry. Everybody's the same in here. The biggest downside with PP for me is that it's so easy to get lost in it and create something absolutely amazing but totally unusable in a track. Everything is usable in a track. Everything. It's really about context. Context. But you know what? I struggled with that problem for years. Like, I mean, anybody that's been around for a while, I was like, oh, how do I use these basses? How do I use these sounds? How do I do this? Hi. Why are you saying hi to yourself? What are you doing? Okay. But yeah, like this stuff was really difficult to try to figure out how to use in context. But there's a couple of tricks that like you can use with your DAW and stuff to help make them more usable for one, but also like with a little bit of pre-planning and intent whenever you're designing, it can help quite a bit. So like all this stuff, especially like the, you know, like these kinds of sounds. Like you kind of just have to start to like practice with imagining like how they could be used. So like, what does that sound like to you? Like to me, that's like a bass fill, right? So thinking about something like that is kind of part of it. Is it's not just like, oh, I'm going to make a whole bass line or something out of this. It's taking a specific section of that and using that as a sound design highlight. Or I missed 2 hours. What was happening? You can just check the VOD. I'm not going to, this one isn't going to go in the vault because we're covering Faceplant 2.0, but if you have any questions specifically, I'm more than happy to let you know. More than happy to let you know. More than happy to let you know. Yeah. Faceplant 2.0 happened. Yeah, so Faceplant 2.0 is currently available. I encourage all of you to get it. If you already have it, it's a free update, and you have no reason not to. If you are looking to get it, it's currently on sale. Please use my affiliate code. Make an acoustic kick with PP. That doesn't make sense. You can't make an acoustic kick with a, but I mean, I've already got kick makers and stuff. Okay, I'll drop a link to her music in Discord. Yeah, I'll check her stuff out. I'll check anybody's music out. Just don't DM me. Please don't DM me and be like, hey man, can you listen to my music? Because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people do that. I'm holding off until Faceplant 6.9. Nice.
Will you listen to my music?
Of course I will. That's different. Do I have a SoundCloud or Bandcamp? I do, but I don't have anything recent. I'm working on like 10 tracks right now. And I mean, I can show you what I'm working on. This is something that I started 2 days ago. Can I try to emulate an acoustic kick? Yeah, I'll show you in just a second, but I'll just play pieces of this because I don't want to like spend too much time not talking, but this is actually perfect. I'm going to play this, and then my partner's getting ready to leave, so I'm going to say bye to her and wish her a wonderful day, and then we'll come back and revisit. So I don't usually make stuff like this anymore, but I'll tell you the story after this is done. No, there's a lot of stuff that I need to fix about this, but this is only after 2 days of work, so I'd say maybe 6 hours of actually doing stuff. But yeah, I've got these notes laid out to do that. But in any case, within some of that stuff, that's something that I'm working on. And then I'll show you one more track that I'm working on that's a lot closer to being done. No. I'm actually more so like in the halftime world now. Yeah, it's like once you get a creative flow going, it happens pretty quickly. So this is a little bit more simple, but so apparently Kilohearts gave almost every snap-in for free. Really? Damn, cool. Yeah, but the one that you absolutely need, or the ones that you absolutely need, are the paid ones for sure. And I know that sucks, but it's true. More modulation and automation for depth, tension, release. Wait, are you guys giving me advice on how to finish my track? Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. I know, right? Best day ever. So this one, and I haven't forgotten about the acoustic kick stuff, but you'll hear that the kicks in this actually sound more acoustic anyways. But yeah, like halftime is more of what I do now, and that's a lot more fun for me. Wait. Oh yeah, this is my shit. yeah, so this was the tune that I started before the one that I just played. So, yeah, so that's the kind of music that I'm into making now. Most of my stuff is really just trying to get that. As you can see, this is pretty much what I listen to every day now. So, would highly recommend you guys go check out his masterclass. But yeah, I mean, most of the tunes that I have are kind of along those lines that I'm working on. So it is an album. It will be my first album, not my first EP, but my first album. So I'm trying to just make some cool shit. He's working on it. It's almost done. So it's coming out. Try Cryptic Minds. What happens? Yeah, so that's coming out. Convolver is not free. I think everything except for like Slice EQ and maybe Fat Trader or something. Beatboxing is off the chain. Thanks so much. I mean, this is, like I said, I listen to beats all day now, so yeah, just trying to get better at my beats. Yo, thanks so much, DA. Yeah, but halftime, man, that's where my shit's at as of late. I had a recent like do I have sample kits of my drum sounds? I'm assuming those are all made in Faceplant. Yeah, so I recently put out a pack called Eternum EX, or sorry, Ether EX, and I think that they all pretty much yeah, so those are all available on my website. I wanted to buy some of those, but I'm glad they're all free. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you got a lot of stuff for free. And now is the time to get it. So like right now, everything from Faceplant is on sale and it's coming with a bunch of snap-ins. So like get your hands on it because it's such a good deal. And then they're actually going to increase the price after the sale. So Snap Heap is free. And once the sale is over, which is June 13th, they're going to increase the price to $29 for Snappy, but that's because it comes with all those snap-ins for free. So I think that's totally fair. If anybody decides to get it, consider using my discount code. So yeah, I wanted to tell you guys though that these drums, I usually make them like this, but I usually end up going back and taming them because they're really high on, well, they have a lot of high end on them. And I do that low key on purpose because I end up like making it too much and then backing off of them. So I kind of just want everyone to be, I like transparency, but they have a ton of punch and a lot of smacky smack. But if you listen here, then oh, that one's not too bad. But some of them just have like a ton of high end in them. So kind of like using an envelope follower to kind of dip that down and tame them is kind of a good way to go. But having that full frequency range of that is a great place to kind of start because that way you can just do like subtractive EQ as opposed to being like, oh, I need more distortion. Oh, I need more of this. I need more of that. So, okay, yeah, let's talk about, I'm not going to teach you how to make a kick, but I'll show you how I go about making, like, I'll show you an approach. But basically, if you want to make your acoustic kick, I think I have a preset saved. I'll just pull that up. Kick maker Faceplant. Kick. G kick 1, maybe. Yes. Okay. Teach me how to Dougie Boo. What's a Dougie Boo? I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. So the thing with kicks is transients, right? Transients and envelopes. And that's really what it comes down to. Because if you were to, yeah, these are the kinds of kicks that I make now. But the key to it is that because you can layer samples in Faceplant, you can just use an acoustic kick on this. So if you want it to have more kind of like natural sounds like that, then just grab a break or just put a kick through it in general and then pitch it to how you're liking. But yeah, I tend to blow these up. And then you can just like pitch it to whatever you want it to be. But I'm pretty sure this was designed to be in D sharp. So if anybody's interested in how you make these kinds of drums, I have master classes available for the Arcanum members. You can check that out in the join button. I've got a full masterclass on how I make all my drums in Faceplant. I'm not really trying to sell you guys on that. I kind of just want to show you like, hey, get the new Faceplant update and you can make this stuff. And there's information out there about how to do it for free. But for people that are just interested, right, if you want to make drums like this, I guess I was working on that Chi snare from earlier. How to make snares like Chi. He's got a sample pack. So this is his snare. This one is mine. But if you look at the process of it, it's very similar in the sense of like fundamentals of envelopes and stuff of the sort. But yeah, all that's available for the master classes and all that. I'm not nearly as good as Chi. I just take a lot of inspiration and look at waveforms and stuff and try to make things that are very similar. I labeled this differently because I wanted to see, like, I wanted you guys to guess which was which, but I gave it away at the beginning of the stream. What is the Lfo editor like? It's the Wavetable editor. It's the exact same. So if you were to go into this and go Faceplant, I'm just so happy that I don't have to hide. I don't have to hide me working in beta like behind the stream anymore. That's so nice. So the Lfo table, if you go here, it's literally the same thing. So you can make your curves. You can apply your same amounts of like distortion and stuff, right? You can do your filtering, whatever. But what's neat about this is that like if you've got like an insane like wonky thing with tons of like harsh resonances and stuff like this, you can use the smoothing to kind of mellow everything out. This is genius. This is one of the like coolest things I think that Kilohearts added because of that, because it immediately makes all of these like insane wavetables that you have, maybe something like this, to be like, normally that would drive you crazy because of how much nuance is in that, but this kind of smooths everything out and makes it an actual usable wavetable. So that's really fucking sick. What else was I gonna say? Sorry, let me catch up with chat. And thank you guys. Hey, by the way, like, for at least 30 to 40 people to sit down and listen to my tune, like, thank you. That's like as many listens that I usually get in a month on my SoundCloud. So I really appreciate you guys like checking out my music and stuff. Faceplant 3 win tomorrow. You have no idea. Tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. Our pleasure. Yeah, thanks guys. So yeah, does anybody else have any other questions about anything, or what do you guys? Faceplant 4 announced, and it's coming out in 2 hours. I do have some factory content that's coming out for Faceplant, so it'll be free. It's just not ready yet, and that's not like it's not a bad thing by any means, but it's coming. I've got 20 patches on release, or that are going to be released. It is a very small but very humbling collaboration. It's all here. I just can't. Since they're not ready, they didn't make the update, unfortunately. But they're technically done. It's just that there's some things that need tweaking and fixing to kind of better play with the program, and those were some mistakes that I made. For example, like I can pull the patch up without playing it, but with some stuff, I typically had like MPE set to macros, and you can't do that. You have to have them over here in order for that stuff to work. So those are things that I was unaware of and that I had to go back and fix. But once all that's hashed out, then there's a lot of presets to get into, some heavy basses and stuff. If you guys liked what I made earlier or like those hybrid patches.
Recording to logbook.
Yo, EO, thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think an LFO or wavetable maker in Bitwig would be really nice in the first place. But we made this sound earlier today, towards the beginning of the stream from scratch. So if you guys like these kinds of sounds, yeah. So if you guys like that stuff, then you guys will be really excited for what's coming in those patches, because there's a lot of cool stuff to get into. But yeah, what else do you guys want to see, or what are you guys curious about? I just wish I could get used to Faceplant. Seeing yours and others' default patches really makes me kind of scared of it. It kind of feels like another huge learning curve ahead. Okay. Well, I have a crash course. I say crash course, but it's a free video or whatever on like how to walk through Faceplant. But I guess the general approach to this, because it's empty, I actually find that this is really amazing. You start with a simple generator, right? And then you send some effects into it. Then once you're done with your effects, then you can do something as simple as this, and you modulate stuff. But this approach is how I want to say almost every synthesizer works. So you start with a source, you add effects, then you add modulation. Source, effect, modulation. And of course you can do it out of order or whatever, but you start to kind of see that everything has a general approach, and then it's just a matter of like knowing where to navigate. But very quickly you can make super fast sounds just with a couple of clicks. No. I think Vital is wonderful, and it's also free, and you can't beat free. But the thing is that like Faceplant can do so much more. Long story short, I have a video, Faceplant versus Vital. But yeah, you just keep adding effects until you find something that's cool, you know, and it's totally fine to not really know what you want to do, but yeah, it's really simple to make cool stuff along those lines. Never mind that we're destroying our low end, it's fine. But yeah, I that's what I love about this program, is that it's just so freaking easy to like get down and dirty and do all the things. Do I have any mod routing tips for Slice EQ, or is it still just its own separate window? I'm finding it's my only workflow complaint so far. Yeah, that has not been improved. So you still have to, if you want to like do like crazy filtering and stuff, you still kind of have to set your points of such. And then you have to set this here. And what I like to do is just kind of let this cliff hang like that. And then if I wanted to create like, you know, different modulation sources or whatever, then just do it like this. So now that'll kind of play off of that, and then you can set that to be smooth, and then it will do that. So no, that hasn't changed at all. Do I ever get bored of Faceplant? No. I never get bored of Faceplant, because it continuously keeps giving back to me, and it's amazing. Faceplant easy. I think Faceplant is great if you just get into synthesis, because it doesn't immediately overwhelm you with dozens of knobs. Exactly. Like one thing that I don't like that people say is like Serum and Vital is easier to use. It's just not true to me. Hold on one second. 2 plants and 1 Vital. It does look nice. I just use Vital because it's free and I don't want to buy more plugins right now. Yeah, that makes total sense. You can't really argue with free. But all PP needs now is wacky filters. Why don't you just make your own? That's the whole point of, like, this is one of the most amazing things about Faceplant is that you can create your own filters. What are you talking about? Okay, so hold on, let me back up for a second. What was I talking about from before? Yeah, I don't really get why people are like, oh, well, if I want to do purposeful sound design, then I'm going to use Serum or Serum or Vital because it's easier to do. And I'm like, you're starting from a blank canvas. It's super easy to just be like analog, filter, LFO. Like, it makes no difference to me. It's the exact same. And if anything, this is more streamlined because you don't have so many things to figure out, right? You're just like, oh, here's where your generators go. Here's where your filters go. Here's where your modulators go. It's all on one tab. Whereas with Vital, there's like 3 or 4 different tabs. Everything is where it needs to be. I just assume I do too. How much is PP? It's on sale right now. Use my code if you buy it, please. Also, almost all the snap-ins and snap-peep are free right now, so it's a no-brainer to get them. Yeah. Has so much stuff and I love it. The only thing missing is tuning support. I personally would like a wave shaper. Vital can do special bullshit better. Spectral, you mean? But basically does everything else better. I can't disagree with that. I covered that in my video. You're in an island with a studio and you can have all the instruments but can have Vital or Faceplant. Your pick? Faceplant. I almost never open Vital. Would I say Ultimate Edition is good to get now or buy flat out? I think, yeah, Ultimate Edition is a great choice right now. They just came out with the update, so they're most likely not going to release a snap-in anytime soon or like a new thing. And there's just so much shit, man. Like, I will say that even if you don't, so I should subscribe. Yeah, if you're thinking about subscribing, then that's a great thing to do too. Just get the $10 a month deal. Pays PP. And just try it out, right? I'm gonna look up the code. It's in the description. $3.99, 10% off. Vital has a paid version out. Yeah, and that's to support the dev, but having access to it is a different deal, right? So, like, and you should support the developer. Matt is a wonderful person, and I think that he did a great job with the synthesizer. But somebody said that it's kind of incomparable, and I do believe that to be true, but even still, people still choose to compare it, so, like, what can you say? And, yeah, I think, and here's the thing too, guys, is like, I'm definitely biased, so, you know, if you're like, he's, but I can back up everything that I say, like, of why I like it, so there is that. The thing is, I have Pigments, Mass Effects, work in Bitwig, which has a grid, is still worth based on Bitwig's capabilities. Yes, it is. Absolutely. 100%. It is. And the reason why is because of the workflow. No, hold on. It's the workflow, the ability to save your effect racks in Multipass and Snap Heap, which you can use on other synths, including Mass Effects, the grid, and Pigments, etc. And also the snap-ins that it comes with. All this stuff is incredibly useful, or at least most of them are. Most of them are incredibly useful. Like Slice EQ is an amazing thing. The distortions, all that stuff. I use all of these outside. So not only do they apply to stuff within Faceplant, but they also apply as regular effects. Sorry about the mic. As effects outside of this too. So not only are you getting 3 different workflows, right, of Faceplant, Multipass, and Snap Heap, but you can also use each individual snap-in as an effect on its own. So you can create your own custom racks and stuff too. What is something I still miss in synths like PP or Serum? So what I would like ideally from Faceplant is to, and they already said that they're working on it. I just don't know when. How many samples is that in a second? Well, divided by 60, right? It's because there's 60 frames in a second. But yeah, I would like a wave shaper and then also a granular engine. What BPM do I need to make 256? 256. What if Faceplant buys Bitwig or Bitwig buys Faceplant? That's highly unlikely. I'm going to be testing out the Clipper and Transient Shaper for the clip to zero mixing method. Thanks for the reply. So building your own patches in Faceplant, you enjoy more than learning the grid 100%. Yes, the grid is cool. Like, the grid can do so many cool things. But the thing with the grid is that while it does have a lot of flexibility, it doesn't have like core effects. So like, it doesn't have a dedicated EQ, it doesn't have a dedicated reverb. But what I would like to see is, or the other thing with the grid is that it just takes longer to put stuff together. Does the sampler have audio warp now? No, it does not. I want the spectral thingy from Vital. That's really all I miss from Faceplant. Yeah, so the spectral morphing, that's like the biggest thing that Vital has. Also the chorus, you can't lie, Vital's chorus is amazing. I would like to see a Sherman filter bank implement in the software. Yeah, that could be cool. I would also, yes, I do use Portal. I would also like to see a mix knob for the formant filter. I don't know why they didn't add that, or all the filters in general. That's kind of odd, but I definitely would like a mix knob within that, and I might request that. Vital's chorus is the ghost. If I were a billionaire, I'd take over Bitwig and make them integrate important features missing right now as well. Well, that still takes time, right? I have used Portal. Faceplant 2.0 is nice and all, but where in it is OTT? It's a preset. It's right here. And it's got 5 bands instead of 3. There's your OTT. I made an impulse response of Vital's chorus for Faceplant. Of course you did. Why am I not surprised? And now we're talking. Overachiever or an OTT. Yeah. So is it actually smarter to buy Faceplant right now for $99 or subscribe for $9.99? Well, it depends, because if you buy it for $99, you don't get everything. But if you buy it for $9.99, then you have a rent to own model, which you'll end up paying a little bit more for in the long run, but you'll have access to everything as well as the updates. Can't you just use multipass inside of Faceplant to get mix knobs on the filters? You can, but that's what I do. But that's what I'm saying, is that I don't like doing that. I don't like that I have to pull up another instance of Snapheap or whatever to get that working. The rent to own is an amazing deal. And Vital, the OTT multiband is like a Smiley EQ with compression. Sounds good though. Well, I mean, the thing that people love about OTT is that it does both upwards and downwards compression. So on a basic sense, the dynamics knob right here does upwards compression and downwards compression. I don't think that it does expansion, but you can pretty much set it to, yeah, you can pretty much do expansion with this anyways. But like if you boost the gain or something, like that's reactive to audio or whatever, but what's it called? But yeah, this is all you need. And because you can have multiple bands, then you can make your own style of OTT. Faceplant does rent to own? Yes. I'd rather slave away for a month and buy the full package. I know, I've been with Bitwig for years despite initial frustration with missing features, so I do get it. I just felt the prioritization for implementation was weird at times. There are some things that I would like to see within Bitwig as well, like, I don't know, maybe a multi-stage envelope generator. But what else would I like to see? Yeah, I actually like want a lot of the effects that are in the grid, right? So like the distortion units and stuff, I'm like, why are those not just regular effects? Why do I have to go into the grid and to pull them out? What is a, hi Dan, what is a screechy mintasm? Now, Faceplant. OTT also messes with your phase a lot. There's some results most of the time. Now, Faceplant because of curve. Yeah, you can do expansion. All you need is negative ratios above or below the threshold for upwards or downwards expansion. Dynamics. Thanks, Gabe. So yeah, that's all. The dynamics is all you need. You know what I like in Bitwig? A decent amp sim. I actually like the amp in Bitwig. I think it works well. I actually like the distortion now within Bitwig stuff. It's just, it has very specific use cases. A wave shaper. That would be great. I want a wave shaper. I want wave shapers and everything. Shout out to Dash. Yo, shout out to Dash Glitch. I've got 50 of you guys in here, which, guys, this is... hold on. This is the biggest stream I've ever had. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you guys are having a great time. I do lots of neurobass and stuff and sound design within Faceplant. So for one, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much, whoever just followed. Also, please do me a favor and go subscribe to Dash Glitch. I think Databroth. I'm not sure if he's covering it yet, but yeah, I've never had a stream this big. Hey, Monty, welcome back. Remap, it's like resynthesis. Okay, I'll check my PP. The initial promise, I think, was that Bitwig will enable you to basically edit any native device like in the grid, Polymer, but that was abandoned over the years, it seems. I mean, it's hard, right? Thanks for bringing these spaces. He's streaming right now, too. Oh, sweet. Okay, hopefully he's doing well. Yeah, Databroth is also online. Within the new... Thank you so much for following. Check my PP. I missed it, but whoever that was, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hi, basically a Hoover. Oh, okay, yeah. Should have just said Hoover. Say no more. You need a Hoover? I got you. So you want to detune this like hella, like this. And then you can set this to synthetic. And then set this to ultra distortion. And then if you want this to stay as is, you'll be like, man, there's 200 people in here. I've been streaming for about 5 years, and 9 times out of 10, I have like 4 people. So like 50 is a lot. That's really fucking crazy. But thank you guys for being here. I stream 4 days a week, and I'm not always the most interesting person, but Data is making some crazy alien laser bullshit on stream right now. Yeah, would highly recommend them too. I want everybody to like check out all of the content creators, because I think that all of us have something special, and everyone's like really fucking cool. I love the YouTube community. They're just such good people. So you can do that. If you want to like have a clean sub, then you can pull out everything below, like, let's just say 120. And then you can just add another saw wave here, like this. And then you can also manipulate this if you want to make it more screechy by adding sync. You can also, I'll show you guys one of my favorite tricks that I do with this. So there is spread on this, but it won't really matter. But something that's like absolutely insane is setting an LFO on the stereo here and make sure that it's bipolar. And then you want to grab a stereo and force it into mono. But this is an amazing flanger trick, and you'll see it in a patch that I release later. But you set this to kind of like a slow rate like this. Let me pull off of the spread here so that way you can hear the flanger. Ah, there we go. Then you add distortion to that. Dan, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure it's bipolar, just like my... Stop. Yo, I forgot about Fat Trader. Damn, I really gotta get used to this. Soul Steel! Yo, Ferenc, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. How fast will the new LFO wavetables go? Let's find out. Up to 100. So, I just got done winning your giveaway. Oh, damn it. No! Okay. And remove. Okay. What can you say? Bots. Bots about. So many bots. Yeah, but adding distortion like that with that, or you can even add another saturator. Turn it down though. Shoo! If you want to create and make it a little bit more usable and clean, then you can throw a notch filter in between like this. So Something else that you can consider is like, if this becomes too washy, then you can just create another analog, but send this to lane 2. And then we still want to distort this like really hard. But what we're going to do is we're going to add that distortion, but create a low pass. So now, yeah, you could just get crazy shit like that. Ooh, actually filtering that. So let's just throw a randomizer on that for fun. But you can hear that like when you start to cut that up, then you get cool stuff. And then we can also maybe add in a low pass filter over everything else. So yeah, it should be really easy to just make shit, because that's why Faceplant is so fun, is like you start with something simple and then you're like, well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? Yeah, so you don't have to go very far to get really good results. Yeah, and so, you know, let's just say you've got something like that, and then this is why it's really important. Like, this is why the ecosystem is so effective, because once you even get this far, then like as you build a preset bank, it starts to work for you. Because now I can just go in and add something like, you know, let's say the Basilisk filter, which is like a neuroprocessor that I have. And once I add that on and turn the depth on, now I've got another like neuro bass, right? So yeah, this one will be available because I'm covering like a new product or like a new like update. I always keep these as public. If I'm doing like my own personal, like if I'm making music, that's what goes into the vault. But this will be public for indefinitely. Do I have a pack for sale on my website with a few nice multi-pass effect presets for neuro stuff? Yes, I've got 3 of them. I would highly recommend the Eternum series. So if just as a quick thing or whatever, if you look at, I'll show you the newest one that I released, but all of these are hybrid generators or generative basses. So what you do, or what I've done, blah, 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 is you start with a basic sound and then you turn this on and they all have a matching, you see, they all have a matching like preset name to them. So this is the Okumu filter, right? And so what's really cool about this though is that now that I have this all mapped, then I can go and change the preset and it's still going to work. So all I have to do is maybe change this out and you'll see that everything is still mapped. So now I can pretty much use like Lego style of these presets, change this, change the generator, and I've got all of these patches that I can mix and match in between that's all mapped to these knobs. So you keep the same source sound, right? But then you have a different set of effects or you have a different set of neural processors and generators to like make your patch more diverse. Oh, okay, let's say that one doesn't work. Well, you just switch it out for a different filter. Let me find one. So you just go and you're like, all right, well, let's try this one. That one's really fucking sick. So yeah, these are the kinds of presets that I sell, and this is why Faceplant is the best synth on the market, you guys. It is the best synth on the market because you can make shit like this. If you guys like Neurobass, Faceplant is the best synth for making Neurobass, hands down. I also believe that it's the best synth for making drums. Updating now to 2.0. Awesome, man. So, didn't they advertise an arpeggiator? There's no arpeggiator. No, there's no arpeggiator built in. You can make one, which I have. I did that earlier on stream, but you have to do it with an LFO and have a little bit of like intuition. Nice. I'm looking for a few nice multipass presets to reverse engineer and learn. I'll have a look at them next month. Disappointed. That's fine. Yeah, and you know, I'm not really trying to sell people on my sounds or anything. I'm just like, this is what I do, this is what I make. I'm really here to educate you guys about the new update. So I just bought the Ultimate Toolbox this week. So good. Awesome, man. I hope that you're loving it. I've had the beta for like 6 months now, and it's been awesome. And Bitwig has the ARP cover. Yeah, that's true. You can just use the Bitwig one. And which actually I would argue that Bitwig's arpeggiator is just, it's freaking OP. Bitwig not included. Bitwig's arpeggiator is fucking amazing. It's so good. So good. Sugoi. Is weird? I disagree. Hot damn. So yeah, big sounds for sure. It's good, but it also stops at 16 steps. Don't most of them do that? Oh, and you can like diversify that too though, right? So like if you have an arpeggiator, then you can actually theoretically change it into more steps in a couple of ways. So one thing that you could do, it's fine. It's no big deal. So one thing you can do is duplicate this and then right click and go into convert to note selector. And then you can actually have 16, 32, 48, whatever. And then you can just set this to round robin. So you can have these kind of send through and have as many steps as you want. Not only that, but if you add a different thing like a step modulator here, then you can also come into this, create your own steps, and then modulate this to different pieces of this. So that way you're going to get different stuff over time as well. Super easy. Easy to solve. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Did you do that interchangeable preset stuff with every Eternum pack? Yes. I'd say that Eternum 3 is the most advanced, but all of them kind of have this idea of multipass and snap heap racks that are mapped to this. Still learning myself. You can also just use the note grid. Yeah, that's true as well. But I guess we were kind of just discussing the arpeggiator in general. But yeah, if you need like, the problem with Bitwig is that it's not enough. The problem is that it's overabundant. Like the sheer amount, the sheer abundance of what it has is really what's overwhelming. And so what I found is like there's maybe like 4 or 5 tools or like processes that I do that get me to going to making music, and it's usually more than enough for me. And that's really what it is too, right? Like as you get better at sound design, you usually have like 5 or 6 things. It's like your shit, your go-to. You've got that. You might have a bunch of tools in your toolbox that you pull out every once in a while, but most of the time you just reach for that same one. So I should sync when I do streams. Data Broth is also here. I don't even think, so somebody said that I should do stuff with Stranger, and I don't even think that he knows who I am. And one thing with me is that I don't hit up people for cold calls of like, hey, you should, we should collab, you know, because I find that disingenuous, and that also comes off as in I'm trying to just use their channel, right? Because he's also a bigger channel. Like even with Cam, like Cam and I have had a lot of conversations and stuff, but I would never be like, hey man, can you use your platform and collaborate with me? I did reach out to a couple people as I was growing, and I'm not necessarily going to say that I made some mistakes, but if I could go back, I probably wouldn't do it. And it's not that like anything bad happened, but just looking at it now, like it's hard. It can be hard growing a YouTube channel, and even for me, I'm still growing. But at this point, I'm just doing my own thing, watching it on another device. Yeah, does anybody else have any questions or anything else that you guys want to see within the new update or within Bitwig or whatever? Because I'm kind of just chilling. I've made a bunch of sounds today. There are these things called MIDI clips for more steps. That's funny. I think the grid stop for that stops at 1 millisecond. Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat. Sounds pretty good. Imagine possibilities with multi-stage envelope wavetables, different rhythms, complex patterns, and so on. Yeah, I recently released a video that this was pre 2.0, but if Bitwig could have a decent MIDI editor. What? Bitwig's MIDI editor is fine. I feel like there should be a way to trick the wavetables into being wave shapers, but I can't come up with a way to do it. I don't know how that would work either. Bitwig's like, other than just in the generator section, are you talking about like envelope followers? The MIDI editor is fine. Dude, the MIDI editor in Bitwig is fucking amazing. It's essentially Break Tweaker, but in the MIDI editor. Can Faceplant send LFO MSEG out to modulate in Bitwig? No, you can't use it as an external modulator, unfortunately. But there is an audio follower, so there's not necessarily an audio rate, but there's an audio follower. Once you go FL, you never go back. the hottest take of hot takes. I think it's because you might want like scales and stuff, and that's fine. You can't really argue with that. Bitwig doesn't have any like scales or whatever, but I find that so rudimentary of like basic of like, dude, you can just look up a scale. FL's MIDI editor gave me gray hair. The purple modulating out, can you send the signal from analog or wavetable into the speed of an LFO? No, I don't think so. No. So this can only go into this. You can... Let me think about this for a second. Hey, Navi. Hey, speaking of, everybody should know Navi, and I'll tell you why. Check this out. Everyone say hello and also give them a thanks, because you're going to see something that's really interesting. Who's that? I second the FL statement. Any other DAW I try just doesn't have the same workflow and ends up in frustration. I'd highly encourage you to try out Bitwig. Couldn't you just input audio into the phase input of a wavetable generator? It's for the left click, insert note, right click, delete. It ain't hard. No MIDI editor does that. Well, you could just double click. It's not that bad. Look. You could just double click and that creates a new MIDI clip. And then you just go, boom. I came from FL and I still like the MIDI editor in Bitwig. You can use the keyboard shortcuts to scale notes, which speeds things up. Definitely. But no, I don't think that audio rate is supported of that manner. You'd have to do it through Bitwig. What are the other things? The only thing besides Bitwig I consider is $1. I don't care about the scale functionality, to be honest. Well, yeah, and I'm not putting that on you. I'm just saying that's a pretty common thing that people say of like the scales. How'd you get your grid looking like that? Mine doesn't have that many lines. It should be over here where you just set it to adaptive and then that will create the lines for you. I think it would work, sort of. It's technically phase distortion, I think, which is still fire, but not exactly what I was thinking of. Hey, again, that is fine. I just like to play when it presents itself. This new update is lit. I feel like a dinosaur when I'm on FL or Ableton. Oh, Studio One. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Studio One. Studio One's cool. But yeah, could I make an evolving subby drone, please? I can do that. I could do that. Sine wave. Small amount of FM. We are going to kick this off with some rando like this. Then we are going to send this into a little bit of delay, distortion. we are also going to duplicate this and play with this on just a little bit of pitch. Comb filter. Then we are going to add this here just a little bit. We need a pitch shifter now. Turn the correlation off. Automate this just a tad. Let's add some attack. Not reinstalling Ableton. I still need Ableton. Otherwise I'd get rid of it. Instant horror movie. In FL Piano Roll Defense, you have group editing of multiple notes simultaneously. Example, you can select an ARP and straight notes and squeeze or stretch in triplets, quintuplets, or whatever. You can technically do that. Oh, maybe you can't. I see what you're saying. Okay, now let's go into creating the second piece of this, which is, do I know the Sicario bass drone? Apparently not, I'm sorry. What we're going to do is pull this down, and we are going to actually add in some really interesting stuff here, where we pull the sustain up all the way. We're going to leave that there. And I'm actually going to send a little bit of analog through this, just a touch, and distort this, and then turn down the overall output. I started my shitstorm for the night. Oh, you're fine, dude. And your opinion's fine. I mean, but you know, we can agree to disagree. So we can make this a little bit more dramatic, like so. And then we can also introduce other layers to this as well. So you can do something like this. Turn that off, because again, we're just trying to make this like super washy. Yeah, good to see you, Puny. Thanks for coming in. Always like having you in here. So something else that you can also do, depending on what you want to, God damn it, sorry. Depending on what you're looking for, is you can also do something like this. I'm going to set that to be really hard. If you want to change the speed, then you can use a ring mod instead. So you set the frequency as low as it will go. also, if you wanted to like introduce a little bit of other stuff, then what you would do is grab this, turn that down. Was this what you were looking for? You said subby drone, so I guess I was just kind of like, this was the first thing that came to mind. But I'll set some unison on this, and how about a droney sub now? Hey Meathead, how's it going? And again, all the presets that I've made today, I'll leave for the Eternum, or sorry, for the Ether members. Getting Hans Zimmer vibes for sure. Next one. What else do you guys have? Sound design requests? And to be specific, I would much rather you ask me like a type of sound as opposed to like, how do I sound like X artist? Otherwise, distort it several times and I have a loud bram. I guess we can do that. Sure. You want distortion? I'll give you distortion. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right. What came first? A snare? I've already made a snare. I showed that earlier in the video. 808s? I could do that. I have a 2-minute video on how to make 808s. You just go here, apply a little bit of phase. Foghorns all day long. How do I diplo? No idea.
Recording to logbook.
Yo, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Can I make more alarms and sirens? I love those a lot. Let's grab a limiter. Then we're going to add just a little bit of chorus on the midband. And we're going to add more distortion on the outside of this. So if you want it to be kind of like Sam Gallatry, then that's how you make it like that. If you want it to be more like, I guess, just thick, then you can just use a sine wave and distort the hell out of it. And then probably add some compression to it to kind of control the dynamics. You can also add some attack to make it a little bit more percussive. If you want to make it glide, then you can do like your slide 808s. So hold up, a sine wave FM by a triangle with distortion and filter? I wouldn't think about it too much. What's really important is distortion, filter, distortion. Don't I have an 808 tutorial in here somewhere? This one maybe? No. That's one way to do it. If you want to make it a kick, you can add a pitch thing to it. That's one way to do it too. But it's the same thing, just sine wave, distortion. Does Convolver come with cabinet or amp impulse responses? I can't remember. I think so. I know that it comes with cabinets, but I don't know about amp. Yeah, cabinets, but not amps. But yeah, I mean, the thing with 808s isn't even so much the source. It's really about making sure that it's low passed, and then actually about the envelopes. So if you understand of just like blowing something to smithereens, and then you do it again. Make sure that your polyphony is on 1. Grab your limiter. And then from here, it's just coloring it. So if you want to do FM, then you can do that. It doesn't really matter what you send into it. You can go like this if you wanted to. You can change the pitch of it if you wanted. And then something else you can do is something like this, to where you set that there, but give it a kind of a long decay. You can add some saturator to it. Okay, that's totally fine. You can just add another filter over the end of it. Which that sounds really nice, so maybe we can do distortion again, send some saturation through. And then what we can also try is to grab a multipass and try to bring back some of the high end, wherever the fuck that is. So like making 808s is really easy. So I missed the beginning. What's new in 2.0? New modulators, within snap heap and multipass, and then just like workflow enhancements. So yeah, 808's easy. I made like what, 3-4 different kinds of 808s, so yeah. You can also try this as well. Rack City, bitch. Rack. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 808s are really easy. What else we got? somebody said something else. Fill effects, just use a generator. I made that earlier today. Okay. Cancel. I guess we could do more. More of that stuff. So what we want to think about is maybe using the curve and then creating something here like that and then splitting that up really slowly. You can move that over this way. Oh shit, no. Oh no. In the middle. I'm going to set this to bipolar. Maybe like here. Maybe by 24. Distortion. Maybe we can use a filter to try to mitigate. F. Lol. What we can also do is just maybe something like this. Also make it super wide by adding some of this, so we can automate that over time. Yeah, so pretty much just with stuff like that, you can also add to it over time if you wanted to. Sorry, I didn't see chat, but you guys are pretty much making the same suggestions that I am. So yeah, it does have MPE. So yeah, you can also like have it scale really high up. For the new triggering system, do I have master classes for Faceplant? I do. I have master class. Real trap shit. yeah, I have master classes for how to make neurobass and how to make drums. Those are already up. And then I'm currently working on a new master class of how to make halftime music. And then I've also got another one planned for IDM. But I've been working so hard on getting these presets ready and doing other stuff. So it's coming. It's just taking its sweet time. So yeah, I mean, really, like the thing with risers is just automating things over time. And that's how you kind of get sounds like that to seem cool. But you can also do like FM over time, where you got something like that, and then you add to it. But everything is modulated by the singular curve. How about a Hoover? I just made one maybe like 10-15 minutes ago. Yeah. So I guess like for the triggers and stuff, it's kind of like I think it would work best for percussion, but you can fire stuff off to where you set an LFO like this, and you set it to off, and set this here. And now what you can do is set a different LFO of a different shape, kind of like so, to trigger this here. So now let's say you set that to your filter. I believe this is how it works. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is how it does the thing. Maybe it needs to be this way. I don't think that I'm doing it right, to be honest. Also, is this broken or what's up with this? Can confirm. Broken. Does not work. It's fine. But in any case, you set the LFOs to kind of do something like that. And then I'm not really sure, because this also isn't firing. I guess maybe it has to be here to trigger. Okay, so you do have to set a speed on it. That's why that wasn't working. I was thinking that you could just do that, but this will re-trigger this every time now. Sorry, I got that mixed up. But yeah, you can also set it to the opposite. So but what you can do from that is just like build a bunch of different LFOs and stuff that trigger a bunch of different stuff in that way. So you can even do it this way. You can even have an LFO table on here. So you can set this to do the thing here. And now this is just going to be some crazy wonky thing that you can have set to at different times. Then you just do stuff like this. So that's pretty much how that works. I know, right? So let me throw that on there instead of the LFO. Because this should be modulating something else, or at least I thought it was, but basically what you're doing is you're affecting each one based off of when it sends a trigger. So that's pretty cool in that way. Hoover easy mode, I guess. Do this, do this, do this, do this. High pass filter. Create a separate sub. Spread the signal out if you wanted to. So quick and dirty Hoover. Just a bunch of saw waves. You can also do a square too, but you can just detune it. You can also have like a less detuned lower Reese on the bottom if you wanted. You can send that through a filter. That would sound pretty nice. Is there a difference about a filter inside a group instead of a send lane? Nothing other than the chain. If you place it within the chain here, then you can kind of mix and match between the distortion and filters and stuff. Whereas if you place it on the outside, then it's just pretty much where you place it on the routing section. What is different though are the distortion types.
Recording to logbook.
Yo, thank you so much for the follow, Schmetty. I really appreciate it. What is different though is the distortion types on here and on here. And I don't know what exactly is different other than this has DC filter now, but these are actually different algorithms even though they appear to be the same. So just keep that in mind. I don't know why, but they are confirmed to be different. Yeah, does anybody else have any other how long have I been live? Does anybody else have any other sound design requests? And then I'll probably call it soon because I have not eaten anything today. Hey Barnabas, how are you? And then, like I said, like all the presets that I made today, I think I made a few, not that many, but let me see here. So yeah, all of these I'll leave for all of the Ether members. Actually, let me do that now so that way I don't forget. Here you go, friends. Happy 2.0. Much love. I'm about to jump off myself later. Thank you for showing me off the new features. Yeah, for sure. I had a great time. Yeah, anybody else got anything? Otherwise, I'll probably call it. Please don't leave yet. Please do not leave yet. Let me see who else is live. Let's go raid them. Let me see who's on. Who is on? Maybe Extreme. I would love to see a rundown of how I did the drums on the first track you showed. Please don't leave yet. Wait. Don't leave yet. Customization. Add. Polarity is live. Nobody else is live? I'm the last one? Okay, well, shit. Polarity is live, and he's doing like 24/7 modular music. So just even if you don't go, just go drop a like. So I'll probably go. But guys, this is the biggest stream I've ever had. I have never had this many people here before. So thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much that means, and I know that this isn't going to be a normal thing or whatever. But you guys, like that, yeah, I'm really grateful. Thank you all so much for coming in and spending time with me. I do stream 4 days a week. And oh, hey, Sergey, I'm so sorry I didn't even see you. Also, hi, Elixir. Did I say hi to everybody? I said hi to Zach. I said hi to Dan. Said hi to Barnabas. Said hi to Ibril. Say hi to Kiva. Say hi to Hayes. Say hi to Styles. Okay. Yeah, next time I'll do that stuff. IMWorks, I'll show you how I did the general approach to the drums. Really, it's just lots of saturation. That's the secret. But yeah, much love to you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. The stream will be live indefinitely, so go watch it and get everything that you can from it. If you guys want to check out what I have to offer on my website, it's at alckemy.com in the description. Faceplant is currently on sale, so please go grab it if you don't, and if you do have it, then update. This is already going to be up, so you can just go watch it immediately. Yeah, it's already up, so you don't have to. You won't have to wait. What else? Yeah, please go ahead and say hi to the other streamers and spread the love. Like, we usually don't get this kind of traction unless if something new comes out. So thank you guys, and then I'll have an actual edited review or a detailed specific review. So much love, guys. Thank you so much, and I will be on stream tomorrow.